Hey guys, Zach here. There's going to be a quick video on how to let go of the ego and stop coming from ego in conversations. Stop thinking that you're different to everyone else, that you're so significant, and start having an open mind. This was a massive change in my life. A few years ago, I didn't have an open mind. I was very closed off. This is the way life is. I'm right, you're wrong. I was black and white. This is the way life should be. And I didn't want to hear from anyone else the way I didn't want to hear it. If someone told me something like, I don't believe that, and I'm right? We're all right. And that's the realization that you always have to have. Just realize everyone wants to be right. But the truth is, do you really want to be right all the time? Why would you want to be right all the time? Sometimes you got to learn and, let go of the ego. Because if you have a feeling inside, someone's, for instance, giving you advice or, saying something to you to give you some value, and all of a sudden you're like, no, they're wrong. And you don't even open your mind to that, you're coming from ego. You have this ego, it's an identity around yourself that says, you know what, I'm different to that person. You don't understand my world. You're different to me. I'm unique myself. No one understands me. And I hear this on a daily basis from a lot of people, and I have to call a lot of clients out when they come from ego, when they try to protect their identity. And that's what your ego is. It's trying to protect your identity because it believes you're a certain way. And if I take away, let's just say someone is going to the gym, look at themselves in the mirror every day saying, I'm so big and strong. That's an ego. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. All I'm saying it's an ego. If I strip someone of that ego and say, do you know what? You're so much more than that body. You're so much more than that. Inside is what counts. That could offend someone and they could say, do you know what? You don't understand. You don't know what I'm going through. And they could react to that because they're coming from ego. Because their identity is, this is who I am. Don't F with me because this is who I am. This is my identity. And there was a conversation that I had with a client today. And he was just completely coming from ego. I called him out on some limiting beliefs that he had, and he had a limiting belief, and I called him out on it hard because he kept telling himself a story. And if someone tells me a story that's not serving them, I will call them out hardcore. I'll call them out. I'll say, do you know what? That's not serving you. Because I don't even want to be liked by my client. I want to help my client. And it's a big difference that you got to get to. And if you're a coach out there, you're anyone out there that wants to be a leader, you got to be willing to be unpopular for the moment for the long-term greater good. And this person was so defensive, saying, do you know what? You can't say that to me. You can't call me out on my limiting beliefs. And he was so reactive that I'm like, let go of the ego, because this is the biggest thing that's holding you back. This is what I see with so many people. If you don't have what you want, or you're not where you want to be, drop the ego and have an open mind. Because when you let go of the ego, you're so much more happier. The ego is the part of you that says, I'm not as good as that other person. And how dare you treat me like that? How dare you try to tell me how to live my life? It's just a reactive life, and it's always comparing and it'll never be happy. It's the part of you that, succeeds but says, you know what, I want more. Or if you hear someone succeed, you're like, I don't like that person. That's the ego part. It's the part of you that thinks it's separate from this world. I want to tell you right now that there's been a proven fact in science, physics, that we're all connected at a deep level. We're all connected, that we're all energy, right? If I think of someone right now, all of a sudden, have you ever done that? Ever thought of someone? I haven't talked to that person in a while, and then all of a sudden they message you or ring you. Is that a coincidence? Nope. We're all energy and we're all connected. If you're thinking of someone, I can guarantee that energy is going to them. It might hit them straight away, but it's going to hit them because you had that thought. We're all connected at a deep level. When you realize we're all connected, you can let go of the ego. Because sometimes when you look at someone, have you ever looked at someone and said, you know what, that person is exactly like me. I know exactly what that person's thinking. In any situation, I literally feel inside what that person's feeling. You can tell if someone's really, really happy. You can tell if someone's sad. You don't have to communicate with them. You can feel their energy, right? We all have this intuition inside, but we don't trust it. If you trust your intuition, you'll get everything you want, but so many people don't because they're locked in left brain. But I want to tell you right now, if you want a life fulfilled, do the things you love and let go of the ego. Let go of trying to be this certain person. And I can promise you, you will live such a happier life of relaxation, love, and come from that loving place instead of ego. That's what I say. Come from love, not ego, and everything will flow. Ego is a good thing in a way. I'm not just fully against ego because everyone has an ego. I still have an ego. You still have an ego. We all have an ego, but it's just being aware of when it comes out. Because if you're just closed off, that's a bad way of doing it. For athletes especially, if you want to be the best in the world, you want to, for instance, Conor McGregor has the biggest ego in the world, the best UFC fighter in the world. And he goes up there saying, I'm the champ. No one can beat me. Do you know what? Come on, talk to me. Big ego, but that serves him in sport. It doesn't serve you in life. Because if you just got that attitude in life, people will just completely disrespect you and completely say you're just an ego, you got a big head. But if you do it in sport, I get and I understand it. And it's okay to have an ego to a certain level, to have that fun part of ego. But when it just gets so locked in and you're significance driven, you'll have a miserable life. I've met so many people in my life that are so significance driven, and you would think they're so happy because they make a lot of money and they're significance about the money, but they're miserable. They're miserable. I've even had people come to me and they're suicidal and they have all the money in the world. They have an ego and they have all the money in the world. That's why they're suicidal. Because ego keeps you separate. It thinks you're different, like I said. Realize we're all connected at a deep level. Let go of the ego. Realize you're separate from the ego and come from unconditional love every time, and you'll influence and change so many people's lives because you're being the real you. Have a phenomenal day. Boom!